Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have Jacob here.
Hello.
And we are answering some of the questions that you guys had for us on Instagram. So we're doing a little chit-chatty Q&A today.
Ooh.
Okay, Jacob, what questions do you have for us?
Let's see here. Will I be able to take paternity leave once the baby comes? Yes. I don't know how long yet, but I'm going to talk to my boss this week to know.
So if you don't know, we are expecting a baby due in May, and I've been asking Jacob for like how long? A long time to know how much time you get off for paternity.
I don't think there's a specific.
Oh my.
I don't think there's a specific policy, but you just work it out with your manager. So.
Well, it's because you have unlimited vacation time.
Yeah.
So it gets a little like complicated when you're trying to take extended time off or something.
Yeah. Do you calculate everything you spend to the cents?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I put it into my budget spreadsheet down to the penny of what we spend, because I am just a nerd like that, and then it helps me to reconcile like my bank statement to my spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm. Can you feel the baby yet?
I don't think that I am. I'm currently 17 weeks, and there's been times like earlier this week that I was like, maybe is that it? But also, could it be gas? Who knows? Like little flutters of something.
Dinner.
It's just a big dinner. I have no clue. So I don't think that I'm feeling anything yet. And my doctor said that I'll probably start to feel like between now and most likely like a little more than 20 weeks or something in that window I'll start to feel.
Do you regret spending so much on your first home?
So we bought our first house this summer, and we paid, our house was
$428.
But then we got an $8,000 credit from the sellers. So honestly, that's kind of what a starter home is around here. That's in like a decent part of town. It's
you
like
can spend less, but it'll be a townhouse or need to be completely remodeled.
Yeah, even like for $380, that's like a townhouse.
Yeah.
And so for us to spend just a little bit more to get a house that like we loved. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I regret it.
No.
I mean, obviously it would have been great to find something cheaper, but honestly, there's just really not many options out there.
Well, and having this house, I think, gives us the option to not have to move. Like, we never have to feel like we need to leave.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to grow out of this house anytime soon.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
True. That's true.
What did you get your degree in? Business management and marketing for me.
And I have my degree in business accounting.
What makes you most nervous about being a mom?
I think like balancing everything. I would love to be able to like my dream goal would be I would be able to stay home and be able to like work on my business, but I also know that like working from home and also having a baby is a lot of work and trying to balance all of that. So I want to be able to like have the time that I can spend with my baby, but I also know that I'm going to have to work, so being able to like stay home and like work from home would be great, but I know it's going to be a lot to balance, so I'm kind of nervous about that.
When did you feel ready to start trying to have kids? I mean, I think after we obviously were very financially driven people or focused. So I think after we had paid off all our debt, that was kind of a big sigh of relief. And then once we had kind of started to save our emergency fund and got like a comfortable emergency fund, that's when we were like, okay, like if we had a child now, it would be okay. Like
yeah.
We feel stable enough. And we wanted a house. And obviously we got pregnant like right before we got the house and everything. So that was another thing on our list, was wanting to have a house before having a child. So it all worked out perfect.
Yeah, no, it was always our goal to like be debt free, and just for us personally, we wanted to be debt free before having kids. Mm-hmm. Just because I think that then it would like open up more options for me to be able to like stay home if I wanted to, or what that may be. So it was like we became debt free. We had our emergency fund, and then we were like, okay, maybe it's time to start. And this pregnancy is actually our rainbow baby, which is like the pregnancy after miscarriage. So we actually were pregnant earlier this year, and unfortunately had a miscarriage. So even with that pregnancy, though, it was like we hadn't even started looking at houses or anything like that, but we like just knew that we wanted to start a family, and we knew that we'd have a house hopefully eventually soon. So
Yeah.
but this time I found out that I was pregnant literally the week that we were closing on our house. So it was like all at the same time.
Real quick, what type of debt did you have before? Student loans.
All student loans.
All student loans.
He had about 40,000. I had about 40,000, and then we ended up paying off like 87 in about 2.5 years.
How many children do you want to have? I mean, I think the lowest number we want to have is probably 2.
Oh, what's the highest number then?
3.
You made that sound like it could be
3 to 12.
3 to 12. Yeah, I think 2 or 3. We'll see how the first 2 go.
Will you both be disciplinarians of your child, or do you expect one of you to play more of that role?
I don't want to be the whole, like, just wait till your father gets home situation.
But it's nice to have.
Oh my gosh. No, I think that we're going to be, like, on the same team when it comes to all of that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, overall, I'm going to be a lot more fun, but I'll probably also be more strict, too.
fair enough.
Do you have a separate bank account or joint? We have joint. We combine our accounts as soon as we got married, so...
Yep, we do have combined finances, and that way each of us can see everything that's happening with our money, which is really important for a married couple. So,
what was the hardest thing about combining finances?
So for us, I mean, we got married we got married like 2 months after I had graduated college, and so we were still super young and hadn't really experienced any life.
Yeah, I don't think it was really that hard to combine
exactly.
finances.
Like, we had nothing.
It was like, oh, I'm gonna have these expenses, but I have someone to share them with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, we didn't have apartments first or anything, so it wasn't like my rent got cut in half or something like that. Like, it just, we combined finances and went on, so it was fine. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we were so young, but yeah, we combined our finances. Like Jacob said, like literally we got back from our honeymoon and we went to the bank and opened up like our joint account. But at that point it was like we had
no money.
Yeah, we had no money and we had a lot of debt. So it was just like combining the little bit of money we had.
Well, yeah.
And but with that we then like took each other's debt, and instead like Jacob was paying off of his student loans and I was paying a little bit off of mine while we were still like engaged. But then when we got married, we like put all of our debts together and we're like, okay, which ones do we want to tackle first? So it was no longer like, oh, paying off Jacob's loans, paying off mine. It was like all becoming together. All of our debt.
Yeah.
So.
Who do you guys think the baby will look like the most? Hopefully you.
Hopefully me?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, hopefully me, because then it'll look like a boy, and it is a boy.
It'll look like a boy. Yeah, it's a boy, so he's gonna be a boy, so he's gonna like tag along with you. So
hopefully he has both of our looks, my height, and your compassion.
That has nothing to do with what he looks like.
Yeah, he'll have a compassionate face.
A compassionate face.
You have a compassionate face.
Wow, thanks. I think that he's gonna be a little blonde, blue-eyed.
You do?
Little kid, I do. That's what when I like picture him, that's what I picture him as.
My hair doesn't look that blonde like here, but I do have blonde hair. And it's gotten darker as I've gotten older, but it used to be a lot more blonde when I was growing up. So.
I see a little blonde, blue-eyed.
When the light hits it, it's more blonde.
Yeah. I know when we like told my grandma that it was a boy, she was like, oh, little Jacob. And I was like, yeah, that's what he's going to look like.
How are you doing with the budget adjusting to our mortgage and baby?
So with coming from rent to a mortgage, we're definitely spending more on a mortgage than we were rent. This is something that kind of drives me crazy because people will say like, oh, it's just cheaper to buy. It's cheaper to have a mortgage than it is to rent, which isn't true depending on like what you're renting. I mean, sure, if we were renting this house, it would be a lot. But we chose to like sacrifice and rent an apartment while we could save as much as we could.
Yeah.
So our rent was a lot lower. So yeah, that's definitely something that's now impacting our finances of we just don't get to put as much to savings each month, which for me, loving being a saver is hard. Mind you, we still get to put like a good chunk to savings, but just not as aggressively as what we were when we were renting.
Yeah.
Though I will say the the cool thing is that like seeing our mortgage balance go down each month, and we can see like how much was put towards interest and how much was put towards principal. And so basically it's like the interest portion that we're paying right now for our mortgage is like so stinking high because it's at the beginning. So like that interest part is basically like what we paid in rent, and that part that's going to our mortgage, going to the principal, is like going towards increasing our net worth and going towards like an asset. So
yeah,
that's the cool thing. But yeah, so we just don't get to put as much towards savings. With baby, we are saving for baby each month with like a sinking fund of like saving a little bit for baby expenses each month from now through May. So our big financial goal right now though, and I've shared this before, is to increase our emergency fund. When we initially bought this house, we had an emergency fund of $10,000, but we want to get that up to $25,000, which will be like almost 7 months of necessary expenses for us. But just since like we're about to have a family and we have a house, like we want to have like a good cushion. So we're kind of putting like every extra penny we can to the emergency fund right now. We're still saving for baby stuff, but not as aggressively until we finish the emergency fund, which should be like February, March time.
What is Jacob most excited for becoming a dad? Well, it's a boy, so that's good.
So that's good.
So I have someone to pass all this worthless knowledge on to. Yeah, no, I think it'll be cool. I've heard that it's kind of like reliving your own childhood. So it's like they say the parents have more fun playing with the toys than the kids do. And I think that's going to be the case of getting to play with Hot Wheels and Legos again and do all that fun stuff, as well as, you know, have him be my helper on the garage and that fun stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm excited about that. It'll be cool.
See, that part is what I'm like most nervous for, just because I only have sisters. Like, I didn't grow up with brothers. We never had Hot Wheels laying around. We never had Legos because my sisters and I played Barbie and Polly Pocket like all day. So it's like all of that stuff that I have no clue. And I may just leave all of that like boy playtime like up to you.
Well, this question wasn't about you, so.
I'm just chiming in.
Biggest thing you wish you knew early on about growing a YouTube channel?
That it takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
I think like being consistent has been what's been helpful for me, and just also time. It just takes a lot of time to grow.
Yeah.
So I just hit 30,000 subscribers on my channel this weekend, which is crazy. And I remember like I came into 2019 with 7,000, and so it's definitely grown a lot this year. But I had like an entire year or so before that I was just trying to get to like 7,000. So it's definitely a lot. You're gonna put in a lot of work up front, but it like could pay off if you stay consistent with it like later down the road.
Yeah. Where do you find recipe ideas? How do you agree on what to eat? I can answer this even though you do all that.
Okay. I'm interested to see what you
Well,
say.
typically, so we, last year for Christmas, we got an Instant Pot. And so a lot of it is like, we want to make chicken in there. So Marissa will just Google, you know, Instant Pot chicken recipes, or there's actually some YouTube channels that do Instant Pot recipes. So it's really just finding those. If you have the whatever mode of cooking you use, you can just Google something about it and just find other people's recipes, things that work really easy and quick. And so then, I mean, kind of before we go to the grocery store, we just talk about it. Marissa will say, hey, I want to make this week. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. And so then we'll just make it and enjoy it.
What was the other part of that question? How do y'all agree on what to eat during the week? Jacob is kind of a picky eater.
A little bit, yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times we are in like kind of like the same rotation of meals, it feels like. But honestly, to keep like the budget lower, and when you find something that you like that is like few ingredients, that's been like our sweet spot, because you're not spending very much on ingredients and it makes it simple for cooking. I don't think I'm not like a very good cook, and I don't enjoy it. And so being able to like do meals that have just few ingredients that are easy and also keeps the cost down.
Yeah. Any advice for someone wanting to take the leap and start a side business?
Ooh.
Just do it.
Definitely like set yourself a limit of what you're going to spend.
Yeah.
To start it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that throw a ton of money at something, but not as much effort, and then they just wasted a lot of money.
Yeah, so like with my YouTube channel, with my business, like I didn't put any money in it up front. It was like
Film with a phone.
Yeah, I filmed everything with my phone. And I remember, and then I like started making a little bit of money. I think like the first business like investment that I had was signing up for Bluehost to like own my website, and that was like a few dollars a month. And
which you can do down below by clicking the link.
Thanks for that plug. So there's like you don't need to spend a lot to start up a business depending on what the business is, but with that I just then took like money that I was making from my business and reinvested it into getting better camera equipment and those sorts of things. So you can definitely like upgrade as time goes on to make it less expensive to start off.
How did you cope with wanting to start a family but not being financially ready?
It was definitely hard for me. I think especially like, I don't know, I feel like it maybe is different with like guys and girls, but like for me seeing a bunch of friends who were pregnant, like, and all of that was really, really difficult, knowing like I wish we could, but we can't because we're not there. So like something that we did was we built in like things to look forward to. So I remember like in May of 2018, we were going to Hawaii and we were like, oh, maybe we'll start trying like after Hawaii. And then we got back and we're like, no, we can't. And I was like really upset about it, but what we decided to do instead is book a trip to Disneyland in December so that it was this fun thing that we got to look forward to, and it was another like milestone to be like, okay, like we'll reevaluate after this Disneyland trip. So I feel like creating those other things that I could like still look forward to was helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it was just looking forward to the future. Like I said, it was those things as well, but also, you know, if we were talking, it's like, oh, I'm just really bummed out. And I was like, I'm just really excited for when that day comes. Like, it's just kind of a mentality thing of, I know it's going to happen. I know it's not going to happen right now, but I look forward to when it does. So, are you going to wait until the baby's born to do the name reveal?
At this point, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that we'll share probably with like family and stuff what his name is before he's born, but as far as it goes on the internet, I think we're going to wait until he's officially here.
Do you have a P.O. box?
I do have a P.O. box. It is down in the description box below. So yeah, if you ever want to send me a letter, I love getting mail.
What does Jacob do for work? I do product marketing for a software company. How old are you, and when did you both decide it was time to start a family? So we talked about that a little bit. So how old are you?
I'm 25.
And I'm 28. Bam, answered. As an accountant, do you work 100% from home, or do you have to go into work?
I do go into work full-time. I work full-time in the office. So I think that like there's a lot of things that you can do in accounting, and more actually like bookkeeping things that you could do for like other clients that you could do from home. But yeah, my job right now is all 100% in office. And again, I still have so much time till the baby's born, but I'll see if there's anything that I could possibly do like remotely would be amazing. How
do you think your relationship dynamic will change once the baby arrives?
I think something that like we're always having to work on is better communication. I feel like that's like that for everyone, but I feel like especially when we have a baby, like that's going to be so important. It's like communicating like how we're doing, and then like how we can be helping each other, I think will be really important.
Yeah. How did we meet? We met in college. I know we've covered this before on stories, but we were in brother-sister dorms and halls, and so we had like little group events, and that's kind of how we originally met. So Jacob's dorm did like a lumberjack games event, and as the sister hall, we had to pick a guy on our brother hall to like make a sign for and support. And I was a freshman and I'd been at school for like a month, so I didn't know anyone anyway, so I just picked this random kid, Jacob Lyda, off of the roster, and I made him a sign, and I'm not artistic, and it was hideous. It was good. I liked it.
Oh yeah.
Was Jacob on board right away with budgeting, or did it take some time?
Were you on board?
I think so. I mean, I think I don't know. I think we were. Like, I think I was.
Like, we were never in disagreement about it.
No, it was like we were both like, we both think we have no money.
Yeah.
We both know we can't spend anything. But I think that's probably where it was the hardest, was wanting something but not being able to spend money on it. I think that was where it was harder, because when I was budgeting by myself, it was like I'd put a set amount to loans every month, you know, the year after I graduated. And so if I had money left over, I would try not to spend it, but if there was something I wanted, then I would. And so not being able to do that anymore, I think was the hardest part, but I was definitely on board with budgeting.
Yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out with us with this Q&A. Oh, very fun. If you have any other questions for us, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed.
Turn on the notifications.
All the notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys.